Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Redone Unplugged. It's been a while since I've filmed the vlog. Been super busy just getting other videos out and just, excuse me, sorry. I'm still trying to recover from a cold that I had like 3 weeks ago, just lingering for ages. So I decided to vlog today, and also I decided to spare you my bare face. So I got ready before I started filming, so I look somewhat presentable. Also, I wanted to just touch on the topic of AI. I hope this is not skew. My real thoughts on AI, especially in the design sort of field, and how I see AI progressing, and also what the future looks like for designers with AI. I mean, this is just my opinion. What could happen might be very different to what I think. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly touch on the subject because I get a lot of questions on my AI videos about like how to implement AI into design and how do I customize my design with AI and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd just touch on a couple of those things. Also, I am planning on making a beef minestrone soup for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna pop to the shops, get the ingredients, and then show you this really easy recipe. I'm not a cooking channel, but I enjoy watching people cook, so I thought I'd include it in the vlog as well. So that'll be towards the end of the vlog if you want to stay around and sort of watch that part of the vlog as well. Let's get the day started. So I'm in the car. I haven't gone to the shops yet. I'm on my way, but I thought I'd quickly touch on the AI topic, but I'm not going to drive and talk about it because I got a couple of comments in my last vlog when I was driving and talking about, oh, it looks a bit dangerous that you're talking and driving and stuff like that. So I'll spare you your nerves and I'll just, finish talking and then head to the shops. What are my real thoughts on AI? So when AI first came about, like when I talk about AI, I'm talking about like Midjourney, DALL-E and all the ones that have popped up in the last couple of years. I was nervous. I was a bit like, oh my goodness, like anyone else that feels like AI is going to take over their jobs. That's kind of how I felt as well. I felt nervous about, AI replacing designers, and it was just a lot of uncertainty around AI and the future of AI and also our jobs and design and all that sort of stuff. And I also felt a bit like putting my head in the sand and ignoring it and hopefully things will just work out, But I think the reality is that AI is here to stay. It's progressing quite quickly at the moment, and I think there's going to be a lot of change in the next couple of years, and it's going to change the way we work. I feel like the only logical thing for me to do is embrace it and to work with it. So as much as we feel like AI is going to take over our jobs, there's also the flip side. AI can also create jobs that we never thought would become jobs. Like there could be a whole bunch of new jobs created based off AI. AI is great because it saves you time. So like if I think about the design process, the normal design process would be come up with a design, and in order to come up with a design, you need reference images of how you see this design looking like. But in order to find those reference images, you've got to dig through the internet, you've got to find pictures to suit what you're looking for. And the beautiful thing about AI is that you can create these images that you're looking for. You can actually generate the image that you are trying to create, and that is in essence saves you time scouring the internet looking for all these images. And it can even create an image for you that you would never be able to find on the internet. At one stage I was trying to design a Star Wars themed bathroom, and there wasn't a lot of like good images out there, but I could actually just generate the image through Midjourney, and it gave me quite a few pretty cool ideas. I never landed up proceeding with that project, but it was just a really good tool to use for really creative design. So as I've been working with Midjourney, and I've also just seen how other people work with Midjourney, it's really great to give you that inspiration that you're looking for. It's not very good at all at tailoring your design to suit the functional requirements of your space because it's not at that level yet. I'm sure maybe another year or a couple of years down the line, it might be able to do that. But right now, you can't tailor your images in Midjourney to suit exactly what you're looking for. I've tried a couple of times. You can't really get it to follow a floor plan. You can't really get it to change furniture pieces that well. Although Firefly has been released, and it's like a generative AI tool, and I believe you can region render certain parts of an image and it would generate parts of that image to suit whatever you're looking for. I don't know how good it is. I haven't played around with it, but I mean, the tools we're getting there, we're getting to the point where you can tailor images to suit exactly what you're looking for. I think the thing with AI is that it's actually not going anywhere. It's just really progressing quite quickly. And if we just put our heads in the sand and pretend it's not there, it's gonna take over without you even realizing it. And before you know it, your job will become redundant if you don't follow with what's happening. You need to sort of keep ahead of the time so you can stay relevant in your industry. And the thing is, if you are in a job that AI can replace, you just need to pivot to suit whatever is happening at the time. Like I don't know what's going to happen in the future in terms of design, but I know that AI is going to at least replace parts of the design process. And you know, it kind of sucks because it feels a little bit like maybe you don't need as much skill to do the design work anymore, because you can just generate the images and it'll create a whole beautiful design for you, and you don't really have to think, you just have to implement. But we just have to think of it differently. It might just take away parts of that tedious creative process so that you can focus on different parts of the design. So we just need to be open-minded with AI, I guess, you know. And like I was saying earlier, as much as it feels like AI is going to take away some jobs, it's just going to create new jobs too, and jobs that we can't even imagine, because, you know, like in the future there might be jobs that we could never have thought of that were jobs now. Like being a YouTuber was never a thing like a long time ago. I think I don't know how long YouTube's been around for, but like people back in the day, like our parents would never have thought like being a YouTuber is a thing, you know, like how can you make money just building Lego blocks or whatever? But people do it, and we don't know what kind of jobs are going to be available in the future in like 10 years time. You can already see people creating content on AI. People that wouldn't normally have created content on YouTube now are creating content on AI tutorials, and they've essentially created a new job. So like you just don't know what's going to happen in the future. So even though it feels like it's taking away some jobs, it probably will create other jobs. You just got to stay relevant and up to date with what's happening. I don't know if you know Turbo Squid, but it is a platform where you can buy 3D models to use in your 3D environments, and they're releasing a new generative AI tool where you can actually generate models through AI, which is pretty amazing, because I know the process of building models from scratch, it can be so time consuming. But with this tool, I believe that you can just put the text prompt in and it can create what you're looking for, and then you might have to just tweak it slightly. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work because it hasn't been released yet, but that is a really big advancement in the 3D industry, because like as much as people feel like, oh my goodness, like poor 3D modelers now, you know, they're going to lose their jobs. But the thing is, the 3D modelers can use that tool to save them time to create these really awesome models. Creating amazing models, like really organic looking models and really real models, can take a lot of time. So if this tool is really amazing, you know, that can save 3D modelers a lot of time in creating really good quality models, which will overall improve everyone's experience on like creating beautiful 3Ds. You know, like I constantly look for good models. Sometimes I struggle to find really great models, but I'm hoping maybe with this tool the availability of good models will become way more abundant, which is really exciting. I just hope one day AI doesn't completely take over all the human connection of things, because I think that's really important, you know, the human interaction, the human connection, because that's what makes life exciting, you know. And if everything is automated and everything is robotic, then it just really takes away that connection. So that's all I'm hoping for, that one day we don't all just become like in these crazy AI worlds where we don't really have to meet each other anymore. We can just meet each other in our AI world. That would be a really weird reality. Anyways, let me stop babbling on about AI. Let me get to the shops, get my stuff, and then show you my really awesome minestrone soup recipe, because not only is it easy, it's freaking delicious. Let's go. That was unexpected. It's been a couple of hours. I did the grocery shop and now I am going to start prepping my soup. Let me show you the ingredients for the soup. So really simple. We just have half a head of celery, 3 normal sized carrots, a normal sized onion, a couple of cloves of garlic, some sort of a casserole meat, I guess, steak. This one's called chuck casserole steak. And then we just have some oregano, parsley, pepper, salt, and a can of tomatoes. So I've cut everything into relatively the same sort of sized diced pieces so that it'll all cook pretty evenly. And then I'm gonna chuck all this and the steak and some other seasoning that I mentioned earlier into a pot. So we're just gonna fill it so that all the veggies and meat and everything are covered. And then we're also gonna add in our can of tomatoes. Oopsie, splashing everywhere. I'm also just gonna add in some dried oregano, generous amount, and some dried parsley. And you put that on and let it come to the boil. And once it comes to the boil, you put the heat down to a simmer and then just basically let it boil for like 2 and a bit hours. Okay, a couple hours later, and this is what the soup is looking like. I should just switch the heat off. And yeah, it's really come together quite beautifully. You can see that gorgeous oiliness that's on top of the soup, which gives it that richness. And that's the meat. I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna cut it into pieces. I've cut up all the meat and I've put it back in the pot, and this is how it's looking. Oh my goodness, so good, super rich, chunky. And now I'm just going to season it with some salt, pepper, and if it's a little bit tart, because sometimes tomato based things can be quite tart, just add a little bit of sugar. I'll probably put like half a teaspoon of sugar or even a teaspoon of sugar, and then I'll just add salt to taste, and then I'll put a bit of pepper, put it on the boil a little bit longer, and it's done. It is late now, it's around 10 o'clock, and the soup was so good. I actually put a bit too much water in the soup, so I boiled it with the lid off, and then the liquid slowly evaporated and the soup became richer, which made it much better. And I really hope my ramblings about AI made sense. And yeah, let me know how you feel about AI and how you think it's going to affect your industry or your career, and how you see it progressing in the future and what the future is going to look like. I guess we'll never really know what it's going to look like, but it's just interesting to talk about. Anyways, have a good day, night, or whatever time of day it is where you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.